Hello everybody. I know that yesterday's short was a little bit of a downer, but I'm not going to let it cause us to be down. We're going to have fun. I'm being a good girl. I'm using my cane for the most part when I'm up, so I can keep my balance. When I sit up, I wait for the spins to go away. And if I stand up, then if there's any spins, I wait for those to go away. It turns out the dizziness is caused by my inner ear. So we're trying to dry that up and get the infection gone. So, just to let you know, I'm being a good girl. Even though some people don't think it. What do you think of the color green? Especially in March. March is the month of St. Patrick's Day. It did begin in Ireland. It was a celebration of the patron saint, Patrick. I did write notes. I look things up, do my research, and make notes. Make notes. Okay. March 17th is always the day celebrated here for St. Patrick's Day. And it's supposed to be a celebration of the patron saint Patrick, because he lived in England, and I think he was raised Catholic. Anyway, he was kidnapped when he was 16 and taken to Ireland to work as a slave. And then he managed to escape, and went back to England. He got, I don't know what they called it back then, but he became a missionary. Went back to Ireland to bring Christianity to them. And he used the three-leaf clover to explain the Trinity, which is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, which are all one God. And I think probably from what he had, because there's a lot of clover, and using that probably was a very good teaching tool for that. So I have drawn out, a leprechaun's hat. We know leprechaun is just a fun myth to learn along. It's just like Christmas. So much stuff has gotten commercialized. But there have been, in like 1601 to 1762, it says. Anyway, that's when a lot of your Irish were immigrating to the Americas, to North America. And then they started having parades and stuff. I think they probably in the beginning they wanted to make sure that they all remembered why they, remember this part of their heritage. Anyway, so there were parades, and there's wearing green. It's covered the country by now, probably a lot more. And the leprechaun has become, with the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, has become one of the things. We might try doing one of those. But for now, let's go ahead. New York has Irish heritage that they do parades there too. It started there with Irish soldiers returning. Let's see. There. So what I've drawn out here, if you can see, I do it kind of light because I'm painting it there. There's a leprechaun hat. I did all 4-leaf clovers. because those are the ones that are supposed to be lucky according to our St. Patrick's Day traditions. But the three-leaf clover is also very important to their heritage and to the day. So I am going to be doing watercolor, and I'm going to paint a lot of green today. So I'm going to start, I think I'm going to try on these little ones. I think I'm going to do a wet on wet, and that will probably, because usually when I do a wet on wet, it will spread from the outside to the inside and kind of, well, that's not very dark. Let's get a darker green. I think they use what's called Kelly green, although none of mine are called Kelly green. But generally, the farther you spread with a wet on wet, the lighter it gets. I don't know why that one, well, yeah, let's start out with a little lighter on that one. See if I can get a little more. Okay. I think what I'll do is 2 different tones of green on that. Okay. We even here in the middle of the country, I don't know how many Irish people ever settled here, but it's become a popular holiday to have fun. And so we try to remember to wear, I'm not using the wet on wet for this. We try to remember to wear something green. Otherwise, you can get pinched. It used to give somebody permission to pinch you if you didn't do your Irish green. And oh boy, in school, kids were all into that. So you wanted to either wear a little piece of paper, at least, if you didn't have anything green, you'd use a safety pin or something and attach a little piece of green ribbon or tape or green ribbon or something, or some green socks, something. You just had to have a little green somewhere that you could prove, whoa, I got that wide. So we'll probably do a lot of this stuff that we associate with the commercial side of St. Patrick's Day because, well, it's fun and there's more of it to do. How many of you ever watched those sci-fi, well, they still have them around St. Patrick's Day, they play them. I don't like what I did with this hat here. Try and see if I can get it straight down more. But they have those movies about the leprechaun and he's a meanie. It's kind of a horror story. You know, there's always people who write those kinds of stories. Sometimes they go a little too far. The leprechaun, I guess, is trying to protect his gold. Or trying to find any gold that's around. Because now, in the old stories that keep going around, if you catch a leprechaun, he has to give you his pot of gold. But you have to catch him first. There used to be a movie. My kids watched it. I have not seen it in years anywhere. But it was called Darby O'Gill and the Little People. And he caught himself a leprechaun. And he wouldn't let him go till he got his gold. And I can't remember what ended up happening, but it was really, really cute. Okay, I'm gonna have to use a different green for this. It's a bit lighter. Clover grows here too, and we did used to check out in our yards and stuff to see if we could find a 4-leaf clover. We could easily find 3 leaves, but 4-leaf are kind of rare. There. To make something a wee bit different, I'm going to outline this. So how many of you have celebrated St. Patrick's Day in one way or the other? Somebody asked me, and I don't think I gave a satisfactory answer. I did some flowers when I made those cards. And then somebody asked me to do red, just a pure red rose. And so I did, and then they asked how I got the different shades. I mean, it was all red. I didn't use any other colors. But I did this wet on wet kind of deal like I'm doing here. Now, a leprechaun being a small human form who has a lot of magic. I'm still working on how to do humans, but I will give him a try. Not today. Today's just about the hat and the 4-leaf clovers. Our minister is Irish, or has some Irish descent anyway. And him and his family took a trip back to Ireland. I mean, he grew up here, but they took a trip to Ireland here a couple, 3 years ago. They just absolutely loved it. Oops, that was a little wide. That's okay. We're not gonna fret about it. You know, if you have kids and if you have a yard that's possibly got some clovers in it, you might want to go out with them and try and help them find some clover, especially a four-leaf clover. They're very hard to find. But you can sometimes find them. What do you think? Did I do St. Patrick's justice? I think I did. The reason they go green is because clover is green and they got a lot of clover over there. Better be careful, I don't want to get on that clover in the middle. But we have our first St. Patrick's Day. You know, and it's appropriate for spring. Let's see, we need to do one with a rainbow with a pot of gold. And I might try a leprechaun. We'll have to see. But this was fun. I hope you go have some fun too. I've got to leave it set so it dries and doesn't dribble down. I am so happy that you all liked the way the dogs turned out. Of course, they could be better, but everything could be better. And I might do a little something to, like the Doberman's face. I'm not real happy with the Doberman's face. I mean, his ears, they need a little work. They do have long ears. But I think his smile is a little much. Let me know what you think. Anyway, that's it for today. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Please don't get any inner ear infections. They're a nuisance. Or pneumonia. Anyway, it's been a good day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.